Good afternoon, everybody. So in this video, you're going to be able to check out my top 10 video game pickups of 2022. A lot of cool stuff came by this year, and definitely a few of it came from the same person, but each individual piece needed its own thing. I'm going to do a voiceover on the video, and the order I put it in, some of it you'll ask why I did it that way, but like when you go to video game conventions, that stuff's going to be there. So that stuff was more towards 10. If you think it should be in a different order, let me know what you think. If you guys liked this, let me know. I'll do a toy one too. So thanks for watching as always, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. Comment down below on what your favorite pickup of the year was for me, or if there was something that I should have picked up that I didn't. Who knows? And share this video if you can. Trying to hit 10,000 subs this year would be awesome. Working on some shorts and stuff too. So I really appreciate it as always, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. Okay, so here's Haunting Ground, one of my most wanted pickups for a long time. I was able to secure it by the end of the weekend from another vendor. Did it in a trade sale. This guy here was really cool. We ended up doing a trade. I had a copy of Lunar 2 sealed, and this guy was really into RPGs. I wish I had hit him up the day before because he had a copy of Haunting Ground that I could have helped traded for. But I was able to trade for a couple of the games that you see me flipping through here. At the end, you'll see the photo of everything I got together. Lots of awesome stuff at this convention. I love going to it every year. This is Retro World Expo in Connecticut. All kinds of vendors have all kinds of different things. If you don't see it here, it's probably not something you're going to really be able to find that easy. But I mean, there was all kinds of awesome horror games. That Obscure was really cool, but I already had it. The Clock Tower 2, or was that Clock Tower 1, was really nice. But I already had it, so I didn't need it. But basically what I did was I traded for some games that were stuff that I've been looking for, like this copy of Juggernaut here. I've wanted it for a while in my horror collection and was able to obtain it from this guy. It was really cool. He was really easy to deal with. He had all the Silent Hills. The Echo Beyond is actually in my collection now. I was able to pick that up. The Silent Hill I actually picked up a couple years prior at Retro World for like 50 bucks. And now it's like a $300 game, so crazy. I opened all these up to take a look at them, even though he had marks on them to say what the condition was and everything. So definitely nice. And here's what I picked up, and a lot of fun, and definitely for sure. This one here was one of my last pickups of the year. The Franklin Toy Show that we go to all the time. A lot of toys and comics. Generally, there's not a lot in the way of video games. So Grant was with me this day, and it was really cool to walk in and see this guy had video games. I bought from him in the past, and he basically, when we walked in, he said, everything's 50% off sticker. So cell phone reception in this room was horrendous at best. So I had to go off memory to make sure some of this stuff wasn't priced as it was like a year ago, because obviously a lot of prices have come down, and even at 50%, not a lot of stuff will be, you know, worth it even at that price. There was some games here that I probably left behind that I should have grabbed, but still pretty good. He was a little mad that I was recording for my YouTube channel at first, but then, you know, he was cool with it after we talked to him, told him what was up. Some cool games here, some hodgepodge for sure. The Resident Evil games are probably the best out of all the PS2 stuff, so definitely love finding that stuff. So this was a cool local find at a video game store, NCAA, for $125. I was able to talk him down to $100 because he had had it sitting for a while, weirdly enough, and it was kind of scratched up. I was able to get it resurfaced, and it came out awesome, so very happy with that one. So this one was a cool find for sure. Unfortunately, I didn't get any video of it because it was kind of a smaller store, so it would have been really awkward to get video. But I basically got all 4 of these games in trade. I didn't pay a penny out of pocket. This store that's mainly toys and magic cards and stuff like that, and comic books, and he had a bunch of video games. Gave me a sweet deal on the trade. The Evo was really cool. I was able to actually get the marker off the top of that. I tried to get it off the manual as well, but So this is the first part of a childhood collection that I bought. Really cool guy. We hung out with him for a couple times. I bought toys off him. I bought all kinds of video games off of him. And this was the beginning of it. Or actually the second part, because I bought some Game Boy stuff off him the year prior. But all this stuff was his from when he was a kid. He kept all the boxes. He kept everything pretty immaculate. Every once in a while you find something that was a little beat up or something, and it wasn't too bad. But for the sheer fact that he hung on to these boxes from when he was a kid, you can see all the bags were there for the N64. That was really cool. I sold that at Retro World. It was already gone. But stuff like that, it's just incredible that he had the box serial number match the system. And then over here, he has, the poster. This is a really awesome piece. It was a sealed Metroid. Literally one was ending that weekend on eBay for like, I think it ended around $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000 for this same version. And this one was actually in nicer condition, the seal. He had bought it and then just never played it. He put it away. So really cool. This is now in Grant's collection. He bought it off me for what I paid for it. So that's what you do. You hook up friends. And Grant also got this box too. It was really cool. No foam, just the box. So this was a really cool one from the Seekonk flea market. Walked around with Zach from Rhode Island Game Hunters, and I grabbed this stuff on the way out. It wasn't even out initially. There's a guy looking at stuff in the truck, and he left all this behind. Some pretty good stuff for sure. I paid about $5 a piece, give or take, for each item here, minus the G.I. Joe card. But the Dragon Ball was definitely a huge score. With what I thought was my fourth best pickup of the year, was this one. It actually was my first pickup of the year. Grant texted me and said he thought it was funny that I had to remind him how cold it was in this guy's front room. If I remember, this kid here follows me on either Instagram or on YouTube. I don't remember. And he said he had a bunch of games he was selling. He was selling his collection. So we went over and checked it out. It was like 8 degrees outside. We had a tiny heater that's literally standing behind me. You can kind of see it down in the corner a little bit. Was not doing much for anybody, but hey, it is what it is. January in Massachusetts can be cold. So basically what he's doing here is he's putting all the games that I picked out into piles at what he feels each was worth. I don't remember off the top of my head what I ended up paying for everything, but I got some real nice stuff out of this collection. And he was happy. I was happy. Basically, he was going to school, if I remember right, and he wanted to downsize a little bit. So I was able to get crack at the collection. And yeah, definitely. I think I paid like $500 or $600 for everything here. That obviously you won't see it all, but if you want to check out the entire video, I'm going to put the links down below to each individual video so you can check that out. So you guys can actually see the entire amount of everything that I got for this video and in each other. But some of this stuff, I think there was only a few things I kept from my collection. One of the things you don't see here, and I don't think I show, is there was like this folder I think I grabbed at the end that was full of just loose DS games, and there was some real nice stuff in there. Honestly, don't remember what the best game out of this collection was, because some of this stuff spiked thereafter and some of it flattened out. But I think the Metroid that you see up there for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance was probably one of the best games out of this lot. I mean, value-wise. There was so much other stuff that I left behind, but there was a lot of filler too, so... and then as everything falls over. Still, great deal all around. I was super happy. Here's a shot of some of the better stuff that I got. And then the rest of it is in the bag, so check out the video. So this part here is awesome. This is the next part to the childhood collection pickup. This was the Super Nintendo portion. He did it by system, which was cool. It worked out. It was fine. As you can see here, there's some crazy nice games, and they were in awesome condition. If I remember right, a lot of these are gone now. They went to Retro World Expo, which was nice. That Chrono Trigger was pretty much complete, minus one poster, which I was able to pick up after the fact and complete it, but it still had the cellophane on it, which was incredibly crazy and awesome. He had everything separated, so the games that you see here were with the boxes. So there's nothing in the boxes currently. He laid it out so we could see it all, properly. I kept that Wolverine in my collection. I couldn't get myself to take that cellophane off though, so it sits all separately still. A couple things I kept from my collection. The rest of it, stuff moved on because a lot of the stuff that I would have kept, I already had, so I didn't need to keep it again. The styrofoam in those boxes was awesome. He laid all the manuals here, which is really cool. So as you can see, this stuff was in pretty much immaculate condition. So you just never know what's out there, guys. You got to keep looking. And I mean, the childhood collection stuff is just awesome. So the Wolverine, I love that. I still got to play it, but I love that I kept that. This one was a really cool pickup. It was random flea market early in the morning, probably somewhere around like 8:30. It was super cold out. As you can see, I have my gloves on. I've dealt with this guy before. Really nice kid. He basically would do like units. He would purchase units and get all kinds of gaming stuff. He always told me he would call me when he get gaming stuff. Never did, but that's all right. So I was able to walk up and find all this stuff, which was awesome because there's at least 3 different game vendors on the inside, and not one of them had made it outside to find any of this stuff yet. But that's also why I try to get there a little early, because you got to beat everybody else. The cool part was here, all this stuff you see backwards was GameCube games. Just incredibly crazy finds just sitting here on the table that nobody else, no other game hunters had gotten to first or anything. I felt like it was Christmas morning. It was probably like February, I believe, is when I found all this stuff. The beginning of the year was pretty good for me. Basically what I did was I made a pile, and he was telling me originally like $10 a game at the beginning. I didn't pay anywhere near that at the end. If anything, I probably paid somewhere like around $5 a game, if that. But I got the purple N64. You guys will have to check out the video. Like I said, I'll put links down below. Excuse me. But the Dragon Warrior was awesome. And it was just cool to stumble across this stuff and get such a crazy deal. I think I paid like $300 for everything that I purchased, give or take. And I mean, on a couple games alone, it just goes to show that it's worth it right there. So definitely an awesome pickup. Here's the picture of everything I picked up. And here's number 1. This is the rest of the childhood purchase that I made. He was a really good guy, really, really cool to talk to. And this was basically the end of it. As you can see there, that Mighty Final Fight was complete mint in the box. I'd never seen one in person like that. Sold that at Retro World. I had an outside buyer come in and hand me some pretty good cash for it. All this stuff, he knew I was keeping some. He knew I was flipping some. I currently still have that Mega Man, which is super nice. I've never seen a nicer Mega Man box. That's sitting in my collection right now. I upgraded to these Castlevanias, the Mario Bros. I don't remember if I kept that one or if I sold that one. But these boxes, some of them had boxing game. Some of them were just boxes. As you can see here, he laid it all out like he did with everything else. But to still have this stuff from your childhood was insane. He kept really good condition on this stuff. It was basically in a box, and that's where it stayed. So a lot of this stuff was either upgrades from my collection. I kept that Indiana Jones. I kept DuckTales, stuff that was, I love from when I was a kid. And the rest of it is being sold or was sold. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it as always. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't. Later.